Hey everybody, welcome back to my page, and excuse the set. I don't really have a cleaned up area just yet to be filming all my videos. But anyways, welcome back to Tuesday Movie Reviews, and today I'm going to be talking about the newest decisive movie in the Halloween franchise, which I would like to call Halloween Ends, The New Beginning. But just kidding, it's just titled Halloween Ends, and we're going to be talking about it, and I'm going to be giving you a review. Also, this review will be containing spoilers, so if you have not seen the movie, get away from my page now. I'm going to review this movie with spoilers because I think the spoilers are part of the reviews. So if you haven't seen it, here's my warning. Go back and watch it and come right back to my page. And please don't forget to add and subscribe. This movie takes place 4 years after the events of Halloween Kills. We are now introduced to a new character. His name is Corey Cunningham. In this event on Halloween night in 2019 that takes place, he has succumbed to an event that is not technically his fault, but it happened under his watch where a child got killed while he was babysitting. The movie jumps from 2019 to present time, and things are a little bit different in Haddonfield. People are still scared of Michael Myers, however, Halloween is still taking place like normal. People are still having Halloween parties. Laurie bought a home in Haddonfield, and her and Allison are living together quite happily. So supposedly, or originally, this trilogy was all supposed to take place all in one night. The events of Halloween Ends were going to take place right after Halloween Kills, and I think that was the original plan, but unfortunately, due to COVID and time, they decided to do a time jump in this movie. So for me, I felt like the biggest problem of the movie, and it's not the obvious one that most people are going to be thinking about, but for me, the problem was the time jump. I felt like the time jump kind of messed up all the anticipation of what was going to be happening later in the movie, and also it felt like the time jump just exposed a lot of holes in the story or a lot of things that weren't very well developed. The time jump for me just made me ask more questions that weren't going to be answered because I felt like the creators didn't have an answer for these questions. Because honestly, if they would have just started where Halloween Kills ended, they could have just jumped into everything and just kept it going. And also, we already knew who these characters were. We didn't need any more development out of them. All that could be done at the end of the movie. Previous film, they kind of built up Officer Hawkins a lot. So in this movie, you kind of expected them to be married, especially if it's 4 years later. Well, no, they're not, and it doesn't look like they see each other very often at all. Michael killed Karen's daughter in the last film. How did he get out of the house without being seen? Yeah, if he lived in a pipe down by the river off a busy highway, how did no one see him doing this? If this is taking place 4 years later, how is Halloween still a thing in Haddonfield? There should be no celebration of Halloween at all. No Halloween parties, no people going out to bars. How is anyone even living in Haddonfield still? That's what I want to know. It really felt like the police force really gave up really easy on finding Michael Myers. They're kind of like, well, dab nabbit that Michael Myers, he got away again. Like, the town was hunting for blood in the last film, and they just so easily gave up. Laurie and Allison were always very close in both the movies, so I thought that was very cool that they were still a tight-knit group. But instantly goes away as soon as this new love interest comes into play. And there was no real relationship between these two characters. It was something that was building. And the fact that she was acting the way she was, I just didn't buy it. And I know people are going to be like, just because evil is released on the town. No, it's just bad writing. I did like the Corey character, especially in the beginning, because I was like, oh, that is not his fault. Now he's stuck with this stigma. I did like it how the town were blaming certain people and isolating them because of things that went wrong in the past. And honestly, I'm a big fan of Friday the 13th Part 5, The New Beginning. If they wanted to go that route, I totally would have been down with that if it was after this movie. And the reason why I'm kind of like disappointed because the two previous films built everything up to this moment, and we kind of didn't get it. In the big showdown at the end of the movie, we saw that in the trailers. They gave that away. Also, it didn't feel deserved because, well, Michael was barely in the movie and Corey was doing all the killings for him. I kind of didn't like that Batman and Robin aspect for it because Michael's evil. He doesn't need a partner. And speaking of Michael having a partner, I just think that's ridiculously stupid. That is just very stupid to me. And yeah, I know people are going to be like, well, it's been done in Halloween Part 5 and 6. It was stupid then too, but at least in Halloween Part 5, they kind of kept it more of a mystery and you kind of didn't see anything until the end. And even then, we had to wait a bunch of time for it. So Michael's been living in a pipe for 4 years, and the only person that's actually seen him is a homeless man. I'm like, how is it that the homeless man hasn't died yet? Can Michael smell evil on him too? And honestly, no one can make up their mind about what they want Michael to be. He's either supernatural, or he's a human being, or he's a little bit of both. Jar Copper just said he's a human being, but he has a little bit of supernatural in him. That's probably the best answer I've gotten, just because I feel like it leaves a little bit of mystery. And it just felt like the writers this time around were like, well, we need him to be this time around because we need to end the movie. So all of a sudden, Michael in this film turned into old man Logan. He's gotten weak. He can't do much of anything. He is basically dying slowly somehow. And the only reason why I'm kind of nitpicking at this, because at the end of Halloween Kills, it looked like he was finally down, even though he took multiple shots and everything. But at the end of that movie, he literally jumped up and literally wiped out everybody that was trying to kill him. And he literally seemed powered up and fully charged and ready to go. He even killed Karen, no problem. And I'm sure he took a couple of cops out on his way into the house and his way out of the house. I did like the scene where he did finally kill someone and you kind of see him kind of like powering up in a way. But again, my problem with that is if he hasn't killed anyone in 4 years, there's a lot of signs in the movie, if you notice in the background, where they say, oh, people are missing. And even the old homeless person said, I've seen him drag people into the cave. So it's like, so he has been killing people. So he is fully charged up. That's stupid.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
They just needed him to be weak because that's what the writing needed him to do. And I know a lot of people hated Halloween Kills. I personally liked it to me because it felt like it really reflected Halloween 2 a lot. I thought that was pretty awesome and made Michael into just a non-stop killing machine. My only real complaint about that movie was we didn't have any cool POV shots or like scenes of him lurking. I wanted to see a little bit more of that because that's something that Halloween Part 2 did a lot better than Halloween Kills. What really annoyed me in this movie was we got all those POV shots, some lurking shots of him in the background. We didn't get him doing that. We got Corey doing that. And I was like, man, that's a waste.
Bullshit.
That's actually something I really wanted this movie because I knew it was going to be more character driven. I was like, cool. More homage to part 1 where we kind of see Michael. We don't see him. It's kind of building tension and kind of getting creepy again. And honestly, were Corey and Michael carpooling the whole time? Was Michael in the back of the motorcycle? Was Michael in the back of the truck this whole time? Was Michael waiting on a bench for Corey to come pick him up? Like I said, a lot of questions. So I know I'm a little all over the place with my review and I apologize, but something else that bothered me that has to do with the time jump, I was kind of like, Laurie's daughter was killed by Michael Myers. The guy that killed all her friends too in 1978, I kind of felt like she got over that a little too quickly. And again, why would you continue to live in Haddonfield if the guy that killed your friends and killed your daughter and her husband is still at large? I feel like the worst thing anyone could tell someone like me that's seen a lot of movies is, you just don't get the movie. My response is always,
you pompous, stuck-up, snot-nosed, English, giant, twerp, scumbag, fuckface, dickhead, asshole.
And like I said earlier, I felt Corey was likable, then all of a sudden, he looked into Michael's eyes and he suddenly got the idea to start killing people. I've seen that done before, and I just feel like it was executed a lot better in those other films. This came off as corny and cheesy to me. How is Michael getting beat up so easily? It's because the writers wanted him to, because they wrote him into being Old Man Logan or Old Man Michael because, like I said in the last film, he killed over 30 people in Halloween Kills, and apparently getting his fingers blown off, getting shot multiple times, getting stabbed, getting hit by a car, did not do much to him. It maybe slowed him down for a few minutes, but he was back up and as spry as ever. And all of a sudden, Arnie Cunningham, I'm sorry, not Arnie Cunningham, Corey Cunningham, is just taking on this old man all of a sudden. Honestly, this is what I would have done with the movie if I had the chance. 1, keep this all in one single night. 2, the events at the beginning of Halloween Ends that happened to Corey all take place the same night as Halloween Kills. When those parents come home and they find their kid dead on the floor and they see Corey on top of the stairs, and they call the paramedics and the police. However, they can't get them because the police are all looking for Michael. The hospital and paramedics are not available because the hospital shut down because of all the chaos that Tommy Doyle started there. Meanwhile, up in Hardin County, some young hooligans thought it'd be a cool idea to get some Michael Myers lookalike masks off of eBay or something. Start running around Haddonfield playing pranks on people. And what could be cool about that is you could use the mask from Halloween Part 4 and you could have people say, damn, these masks are really shitty. It doesn't look anything like Michael Myers. And while all that's going on, no one knows Karen is dead except for Laurie because when she called, Michael picked up the phone like we saw in a deleted scene. Michael stays inside the house because that's where he's wanted to be this entire time supposedly. Laurie sneaks out of the hospital with all her stitches ripping and exposed and bleeding. Michael sneaks out of his house because Halloween isn't over, so he's going to wreak some more havoc. Corey can hear the police sirens down the road, so he tries to go get help. He sees a bunch of copycats running around, sees Michael and gets a jump scare. We can have the seed planted for Corey, just have it for another sequel where we show him running through the town of Haddonfield trying to find the police because he needs help for that little kid that he just killed on accident. You can literally have the father of that little boy that just died literally hunt Corey down like a monster. You can have all this going on simultaneously. You could have these teenage hooligans from Hardin County wearing the H4 mask, causing more confusion and chaos on accident because they think it's a harmless prank. Them bullying Corey too. And you can even have Michael wipe some of those out because, hey, why not? It's still Halloween to him. And meanwhile, while Lori's limping through town trying not to bleed to death and stay out of sight so she could go kill off Michael, have Lori pick up the phone and call Lindsay for help because Lindsay isn't doing anything in this movie. Lindsay's bringing an older, wiser friend with the gun by the name of Ben Tramer. Lori and Michael have their showdown the right way and Michael gets sent off like he did in Halloween End. Seed is planted for Corey in the next film.